In this video, I'm going to show you how to make your animation. And in order to make your animation, everything has to work. Once you hit play, I'm going to talk for a minute while this rolls. You should have your spring and damper set up so it comes down and lands and then comes back up just a little ways. And what's important is when you do that, you should let it run for, I don't know, let's say, see how mine hopped up in the air? That's a little too much. I don't want it to do that in my actual video. I want it to come all the way down and come all the way back up. Maybe come down just a little bit more, but each time with the correct damping, even if it does hop up in the air, it won't come up and down a bunch of times. So you can see, like, I set my time here to 3 seconds, which is 300 basically unitless calculations. So it's calculating it each about 300 milli calculations, or it splits these seconds up into 100. So this number is going to be important for later, and you see how it's going to 1 second. So for me, 1 second is going to be 100 calculations, or whatever you want to. It's not actually, that's not the number of calculations. It's like tells you how many like frames, if you will. But we're going to change that later. So I think it's pretty much stopped now. So I'll average it around 1 second, which will be about 100. So you can see 3, 100, whatever. So I'm going to hit stop, and once I hit stop, it will open up this publish to studio little icon. So it's running really slow because I'm doing Snagit at the same time, and it's not happy with that. So it actually says above my screen up here, it says it's not responding. It does that every once in a while when you're calculating something big, or you're using a slow computer. But once you hit publish to studio, it should pop right in here. Okay, it doesn't automatically set up the animation for you, so you have to do that. But if you show up and the animation timeline isn't there, you can click on this timeline, and you'll see I'm going to click here, and you can see I've already made this simulation. I'm going to delete that and show you what it is, but let's do this first. When I hit play, that's what it does. It follows that, and then it spins because there's no friction. So that's normal. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you what I made, and then we'll go back and I'll show you how to do it. So I made from 0, this says UL, it means unitless, measures. So 100 measures over 5 seconds. So if I have, and every animation, no matter what you do, it's a motion over time. You can't show me the thing from dynamic simulation because it's calculating everything. It's already calculated everything, and you'll see now that spring is gone. That spring is only a representation in dynamic simulation. So when I hit start and I hit play, there it is. It goes boom, 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 and it actually probably finishes around here, probably at like 3 seconds or something like that. But my timeline is 30 seconds, so we'll show you what to do with that later. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to this thing, and I'm going to delete this animation. Okay, and that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I have my animation favorites. Okay, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to right click on the simulation timeline. And if you don't have this simulation timeline, you have to go back to dynamic simulation and recalculate everything. But so I'm going to right click here and animate parameters. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. It pops this open. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did before, 100. So from 0 to 100. If you made it last longer, you just want to make this number bigger. And then I want, let's say, 4 seconds. Okay, I did 5 before. I'm going to do 4 seconds. When I hit OK and I rewind it back and I hit play, it should come down and show me that movement. Okay, so that does what I want it to do. I'm going to bring it to, let's say, Yeah, 3 seconds is probably about when it stops. So this is the important part. I'm going to go to record, and you can choose different resolutions. It doesn't really matter as long as it's over at least 1020 by 768. Otherwise, it comes out all pixelated and crappy looking. So I'm going to go to output. This is the important part. There's a couple things that are really important. Number one is I'm only going to calculate, and this is kind of cool. See how I stopped it at 3 seconds down here? When I click on it here, I can choose 3 seconds. So it calculates up to where I told it to stop. If I didn't and I had this down here at like 2 and I wanted it to go to 3, I can set this to 3 seconds. Okay, whatever. The other thing, and this is extremely important, okay, I'm going to say this again. This is extremely important that you choose preview no render instead of rendering. If you render this, it's going to take it 30 minutes to calculate. With preview no render, I'm going to hit render. Watch this. Watch how fast it goes. I need to set this to, let me set this to the right folder because I'm going to post this video for you. Classes, I actually have it in a different class here. Dynamic simulation, D, and spring drop, and we'll save this as simulation. You can set this to different types of video recording. I just like the Microsoft video. See how fast it renders? If I do it wrong, you don't have to save it, it's already saved. If I do it wrong and I don't check this, preview no render, and I hit render, and then I say yes, replace it, whatever, watch what happens. It goes rendering, rendering, rendering. It's going to render 1 picture. Watch how long it takes to render 1 frame. So it's up to 4 frames. See how much longer it's taking? It's already taken 16, 18 seconds for only 6 out of 46 frames. It looks a lot nicer, but preview no render, render, watch this. Yes, okay, boom. Okay, if you do it and it's taking forever, all you have to do is X out of this and go back and change this to preview no render. That's it. Once you've rendered it, you can turn it into Google Classroom. Okay?